This episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Well Hydrate.
Electrolytes and protein waters packed with nutrients and vitamins.
Hi guys, welcome back to Sim Squared podcast. Today we've got Rob Beckett with us. Thank you so much for coming in, Rob.
Thanks for having me, very excited. Sim Squared is a great name.
Did you like it?
I think it's good, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was originally our DJ name, but then we failed at being DJ.
But you DJ'd as a double act?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that work?
Neither of us could DJ. So.
Yeah.
She's the technical one, so she used to stand there like this and I just used to stand there like
Right.
a god.
Yeah, I don't think you can DJ as a double act. That's too much, isn't it? You can't just...
But it is a genius name.
It's a great name. I love the name, yeah.
It's
Sim Squared. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does. A lot of people don't really know what it is, but you know.
What square? What
If you're a
what's
mathematician, yeah.
Yeah, but I think if people don't know what that is, I don't think they're a great loss to the listenership. If somebody doesn't know what squared is at all, I don't think that doesn't matter too much, does it? If they go,
Just
trim the herd. Yeah.
So, Rob, how did you get into comedy? Like, was you the class clown in school, or?
I mean, I was quite quiet at school. I was a bit of a quiet, nervous kid. But I've got a big family, so we were always loud and being funny. But at school, I sort of kept my head down. I was like, the school I went to, I mean, like you guys from Essex, I'm Bromley. It's sort of the same kind of place, but mirrored. Where at my school, it was either like you was either good at football or really hard. That was the only things that really mattered. And I was all right at football and I wasn't that hard. So I sort of just kept my head down and stayed out of trouble. But yeah, no, I just love stand up. I watched it all the time. I'd go and watch stand up live. I'd DVDs for Christmas, stuff like that. And I was obsessed with it. I used to that makes me feel really old. But I had mini discs. Do you remember a mini disc player?
Yeah, was the disc literally
that
big?
Like a weird little
mini CD.
Yeah, so it's like it looked like a tape thing, but it was a disc that went in. It was basically mental. It was like the last thing before MP3 players and phones and stuff. But I used to have that, and you used to be able to plug it into your tent, and I'd record the audio of stand up from my VHS or DVDs onto this stupid little thing. Like, I listened to that kind of stuff, so I was obsessed with it. And then I just put my name down to do a gig one.
Really? Was that not nerve-wracking?
Yeah, I was terrified, but I don't even know why I did it. I was just like, I just kept on going to comedy, and I was like, after a while, I could guess the jokes of some of the not the best comedians.
Right.
There's always levels, isn't there?
Yeah.
And some of the people I was watching, I was like, at these open mic gigs where you just turn up and do it, I was like, I know what they're going to say, and then I started getting a bit bored, and I thought, why don't I do it? And so I just got up and give it a go, and it just basically just spiraled from there, really. And then I just enjoyed it, kept on going back, and it's like a hobby. Yeah. And then eventually they were like, can you come and do longer? And then they started paying me, and it just escalated from there, really.
Whereabouts did you do that then? Whereabouts was your first open mic?
Up the creek in Greenwich, do you know?
Oh, in Greenwich?
Yeah, in Greenwich. So that's like the local comedy club to me. I just put my name down, went down there. I had like 3 beers beforehand. I was petrified. I went out. It was the first time I've been on stage, and the lights were so bright. I was like, all I could think was, it's too bright. It's too hurt my eyes. It's too bright. And then did my stuff. And it was all right. But I was trying to keep it a secret because I didn't want any of my family to know.
Yeah.
It's a bit cringe, isn't it? But then I did it, and then in it was like my mum's best mate's son, and I was like, oh no, because it's gonna get back to your mum and that. And then also my mum's mate, because everyone knows everyone where I live in that little area. I was walking around the park to practice my set, and I was speaking to myself, but like saying the jokes out loud.
But they thought you was nuts.
Yeah, so my mum's mate Debbie saw me, and then my mum went, "Is Rob all right?" He's walking around the park talking. So basically, my big secret lasted about 20 minutes.
Oh no, that would happen.
What did your family say though when they found out that you was doing open mic nights? Were they like, "Oh, let us come," or?
They were really supportive, and they'd be like, "Oh, all right, good luck with it," but I wouldn't let them come. So I wouldn't tell them when I was on. I was just like up in London doing the open mics. I didn't want anyone to come. Also, as well, when you start out, there's competitions. So if you invite a load of mates, sometimes there's only like 10, 15 people in the room. So if you invite 10 mates and there's a competition, the competition's done sometimes on like the crowd cheering.
Yeah.
All your mates are going to cheer. But I wanted to know if I was good or not. So I didn't want them there cheating. I thought I'd rather go, and then if I do get through, I know I'm all right, and it ain't my mates just going. You know, they don't be that dear. Like
that's like in Baby Reindeer where they all sit down the front and then all the boys are like cheering and that.
Yeah.
Have you seen
that stand up.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
So
is that what like actually getting into comedy is like, because he had to go through like all that, the different trials.
The atmosphere as well. Like sometimes would you turn up to an open mic night and it would be like you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Or are they exaggerating things?
No, I think that was a really fair description of what it's like. If anything, like the actual rooms he was in and the amount of people was more than it would be. That was quite big. That's quite like when you first start. That's quite a big room because he was doing competitions, wasn't he? He was getting through the rounds. Where I've done gigs like 3 people without a microphone. Like basically, we've got a producer and you guys. If this is a little room, like I've done it before, where you just sat there and I just stand up without a mic and just do 20 minutes of stand up. And now I think, like, what was I doing? But at the time, it's the only time you can practice. But I think he's done really well with a fair reflection of what it's like to be a stand-up. And my wife was watching and I can't watch these bits, it's too cringe when the jokes aren't working, but I felt fine because I've done it.
I was going to ask you about that. Is it mortifying, when you say a joke and no one laughs, or like you don't get as much laugh as what you think you're going to get?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
So when you first start out, it is the worst feeling in the world because it is because when you start, you don't know if you're good or not, or you don't know if you can do it. I've been going 15 years now and I've done tours where I go, people may not like me and I'm not their cup of tea, but I know I can do it. Do you know what I mean? I know I can make a room laugh because I've done it plenty of times before. So if a new bit now goes wrong, I'm a bit like, oh, that bit don't really work, or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's just trial and error. But at the time, it is the worst because you don't know if you're good or not. So your brain is just going, you're shit. Can I swear on this? Just basically, and I'm not the most self-confident person. I've had to learn to be confident, but I'd be like, why are you going out there? You're shit and I'm fucked. Like, that's what my brain's telling me as I walk out. And then if they don't laugh, your brain just goes, well, you're shit. You're stood there with a mic and your brain's going, you're shit, and they're not laughing.
That's so awkward. The guy literally, when no one was laughing, he had a full-on breakdown, didn't he?
Well, I've seen a lot of that before in so I think it is exactly what it's like, but as you progress through it, you get more confident, you get more experience, and the key thing, without being too sort of worthy, is and I think it's like with anything you do, you just have to separate your own self-worth from you as a comedian, or if whatever it is, if you're a boxer, if you're a podcaster, if you're an actor, whatever, or even you work in banking and you're selling stocks or whatever, you might do well at work that day, but that doesn't mean you're good. You know what I mean? Or if you do bad at work, it doesn't mean you're bad. But I would go, if this didn't go well, I'm shit. But no, that joke was shit. So separate the two things stops you from going mental. But when you're young, if it don't go well, you don't just go, that didn't go well. They go, I am bad. So that's what can send you mental and make you have breakdowns and stuff like that.
Is it hard, like, thinking up new jokes all the time? Because obviously, like, it must get really difficult now.
So it's like, that's why I like to have a big break between tours. And I've just got notes on my phone of funny stuff that happens to me. And then I go out and tell it. But for me, the best stuff comes out when I'm on stage. It's sort of other ideas come up. But you do, when you put a tour on stage. I'm on tour at the end of the year. A show called Giraffe. I called it Giraffe because I had no jokes for it. Went up and I just thought it'd be a funny poster. And then when it goes, you're like, I've got nothing to say. And I've got to do a show at the end of the year. But once you get back into the clubs and that, it comes. But there is a moment you sit down in pen and paper and go, I just got nothing to say. I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing to contribute.
Well, you've got about 6 months.
Exactly. I know that was before. I've got about an hour now, so I need another 20 minutes and I'll be alright.
Oh, that's good.
Have you got like any like stories what are really funny from when you was going on stage, or any really bad stories?
Oh, I mean, there's so many weird moments, but it's like, I remember once I did a show called Rob Beckett's Summer Holiday, where it was just about like, because it was up at the Edinburgh Fringe, where you're there for the whole of August, and the whole idea of the show was like, I took time off work because I hated my job, so I got to do that. So it was like, as much as it was my big show, it was just like my summer holiday. And this woman stormed out the show halfway through because she thought it was going to be a show about Cliff Richard. It's an old singer who had a song called Summer Holiday. We were all going on a summer holiday, that old song. So she was livid that it wasn't about that. But I was like, it's obviously not going to be Cliff Richard for like £8 in a shit little pub corner. But yeah, so you do get like loads of mad heckles, but after a while you just don't. I did a gig once and I was doing my jokes. I just sort of tell stories and it's about my family and jokes. This bloke show went, "Is this all you do?"
Oh no!
Like, that's it, mate. I don't know what do you want.
What do you want me to do? I
feel like I would laugh more though if that was happening between like the comedian
and that can make it funny. But I found that almost like the bad experiences you just have to sort of delete from your delete from your mind.
Yeah.
Just because otherwise it sends you mental. But yeah, I've had all sorts of terrible gigs, but that's just part and parcel of it. You know, it's like anything really.
Yeah, it's like I suppose you learn on the job, and like with what you do as well, I suppose you've got to be really thick-skinned because you probably have people that criticising you're not funny. Or that joke.
I think we'll come up to a time. I don't think you're very funny. I think you're shit. I go, all right, well, thanks, man. Oh, thanks. Okay, cheers. All the best.
I know it's the worst saying it. The trolls comments. You think I'm not being funny. Who are you to be commenting?
But you've just got to think. Do you know what? Like,
but with comedy, I feel like it could work out quite well because, like, as you said, you bounce off of it.
Yeah.
It makes you thicker skin. I genuinely feel like sometimes it's almost like online comments are worse in a way because they come at you at any point of the day. When I'm on stage, I'm doing a gig, I'm in sort of like fight mode of right, I've got to do this gig, you've got to listen, I'm going to make you laugh. If you have a go, I'll have a go back. But like, and then if they do have a go, you can sort of go like, you're in the mode for it. Like sometimes you just go like, you just go to bed and you quickly look at that and goes, you're an ugly prick. Okay, brilliant.
That's your fault.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It's like, like a jack. So I try to avoid reading them now because it just said, you guys must get it as well. In your jobs, it's like anyone that tries to do anything or put their head out or their face out there, it doesn't matter who you are. It's just, but really, it's just who's writing these, waiting for someone to post to slag something off. It's like I have to come from a place of forgiveness really and go, well, this isn't really about me, is it?
Yeah, this is about you and how bad your day is going.
Yeah, or something's happened to you that day. I'm just the face that popped up on your, your Instagram at that moment.
Yeah. I always say, like, if someone's trolling me, they're also trolling 20 other people at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to go from my picture, the one below, to the one below, so try not to take it personal.
Yeah. It must be hard, though, especially, I think women get it a lot more than men online and stuff with looks.
Especially about appearance.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, saying about how it catches you off guard, like, the other morning I literally, because our show's just gone on to Netflix, so like everyone's got something to say at the minute, and I literally woke up, opened my phone to check my notifications, and it was just like abuse.
It was so
bad.
And
I was like, wow, do you know what? I regret waking up this morning opening my phone first.
We've started to laugh at them now. Like, we'll actually read them out to each other and laugh because some people are quite creative with them.
I know.
Gotta give them that. So it is quite funny. But TikTok's the worst.
I'm on TikTok, and so but it's weird as well. They'll create a little narrative in the comments and they all sort of gang up on it and you're like, that's not what's happened. You're inventing something that's gone on there. It's not, and the way stuff's cut as well in clips, you can cut something from your show totally out of context and it'll make you look absolutely mental. But that's not, if you actually watch the show, that's not what's going on at all.
That happened to us, weren't it? Like there was our trailer, it looked like I threw water over someone. But it was actually the other way round.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then everyone was coming at me. Like
I was like, me so aggressive.
I didn't throw water. So I understand what you mean with that one though.
But you have to it's hard though in the reality because it is a version of yourself. But you have to just, that's why you have to just separate to go, this isn't about me as the normal, this is me what I do on the show. But.
So how did you, obviously saying you started off with stand-up, so how did you transition into TV? Because obviously you've got like your own show, you co-hosted on A Celeb, like you do all so much.
Yeah. Well, celebs go, voiceover celebs go dating as well. But that was the first job. Basically, they sort of, for comedy panel shows, they look at the circuit and anyone that's coming through. And I was at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and 8 out of 10 Cats producers saw me and put me on there. And then the ITV producers for I'm a Celebrity saw me there and put me on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here Now, which was the spin-off show for the Jungle with Laura Whitmore and Joe Swash. So that was my big sort of break, really, that elevated me from the circuit into, because that was on like...
I remember that as well. I remember seeing you on there, and my dad found you so funny.
Oh really? Oh yeah, bless him. He's always been a good supporter of mine for years. But so I was on there and I was doing like live TV, and that was a real harsh lesson in trolling. That was like years, that was probably about 8-10 years ago as well. But that was when like Twitter was the first thing. And I remember my Twitter was going up, I did 3 weeks, a live show every night, and it was going up to like 2 million people. It was quite a big show, and I was unknown till then. Big. So I was getting like 5,000 followers on Twitter every day, and just abuse every day. And by the end of it, I had to do therapy, and the end was going to explode. I was just like, and everyone thought I was a multi-millionaire because I'd done one bit of telly, and it was like, I got paid decent money, but not enough for the year.
Not enough for the trolling.
I know. So,
not enough for the therapy.
Exactly. So that big audience enabled me to do a little tour where I was doing like 50 to 100 seaters all around the country, because I was the bloke off of ITV2 thing, and then it just sort of went from there, because then I did Celeb Juice and other ITV shows, and then it basically just like, if you do well on them, you get asked back, and then producers that book you for one move to another place, and it just sort of builds from there, really.
Yeah,
so
it's that butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does your wife like deal with it all? Like, does she love it? Does she come and support you in your show?
Yeah, so I've known, me and Lou have been together before I even sort of started. I was just starting comedy. She come and saw me like at a pub with about 8 people.
Is that how you met?
No, so we was at work together. We worked in just an office job, and she left to be a teacher and I left to be a comedian. But we just did, when you know you're leaving, just didn't know. I just basically worked there until I got sacked, because I was still doing gigs. So I'd go in and go like, I need tomorrow off because I'm gigging. They'll be like, well, no, you can't. I go, well, I'm going, so I'll come in on Monday, and if you need to sack me, sack me. But it's quite hard to get sacked. There are quite a lot of formal like warnings and stuff you have to go through. So it's like, so I had a few official warnings, but then I just left. So we met at that job. And so Lou's been with me all the way through from like, Lou paid the bills for like 3 years where I was bringing in no money at all, because I was just getting like 50 quid here and there. So she's, she paid all the bills as we started out, and then obviously now she's looking after the kids, so she's not working as much. So it's sort of, levelled out. But yeah, it's been a bit of a mad journey, but she's, I think she found it a bit overwhelming, but she's a bit more like, confident in it now and stuff, because I talk about a lot on the podcast, got parenting podcasts and stuff, but like people love her more than me now. Like she's got 102,000 Instagram followers. She's not even doing Instagram.
That's actually a lot.
I saw a video actually on your TikTok that went viral of when she bought like
that weird dog, the weird dog statue. So she so stuff like that. So she sort of appears on it now and again, but she's she's got a few little ideas and projects in the works. So she's embracing it a bit more now. She sort of hid away from it a bit, but she was like, well, it's our life now, so why not embrace it?
Might as well make the most of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Also for the girls as well, sort of like to show, because I think it's a bit overwhelming. So she's like, oh no, I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be given. Now she sort of comes to events with me, and she's on Instagram and being a bit more confident with it. But like you say, like you don't want to put your head out there and get abuse. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get abuse, or whoever you are. So it's sometimes easier just to hide away. But she's sort of like, no, fuck it. I'm gonna, don't care. Exactly. It's really proud of her for that, because it can be a bit, it's not a, I'm a bit more like attention seeking out there and look at me, I'm doing a show and stuff like that. But she's a bit more reserved, so it's harder for her. But she's doing
been thrown into it.
Yeah, exactly.
What does a normal day look like for you then? With like, do you come to work every day? Do you do radio every day?
So when I first started, it was just like whatever work got offered, I'd say yes. Right. And just did everything and was all over the place. And that was good because it sort of got my name out there. But now it's sort of settled into a bit more of a routine. So I do my podcast with Josh every Monday morning, and I try and take the kids to school and pick them up. And then I do my radio show once a week, and I try and have a day in London where I'm doing stuff. But it's sort of weekends is when I'm touring the most. But it's very all over the place. So like if I do a block of filming, I'll be blocked out for 6 weeks, but I do the show Ramesh, I'm all over the place, all over the world and stuff. So it is a little bit mad and non-stop, but Monday mornings I try and make sure Monday mornings is the day I do all my sort of like podcast stuff, and then Saturdays I try and not work during the day to take the kids football and all that.
Yeah, I love it that you take the kids to school.
Yeah, I love it. Try and pick them up. No, but I try and block off big, like, so I always have these. I book off all school holidays so I can be there with them. But then sometimes I will be away for like 4 weeks, which is. But I think it levels out that they see me probably more than they would if I just did an office job.
Yeah, 100%.
How old are your kids?
8 and 6.
So how has your life been since you had kids? Has your work life changed or anything?
I've tried to like book off all the school holidays, and that so I can make sure I see them proper and stuff. But I used to lie in. Yeah. Because I'm a comic, I used to get home late. So I'd get in at like midnight, and then I'd go, because I'd work evenings, I'd watch a film or something outside the week, go to bed about 3 or whatever, and then get up 10 or 11, because then now it's like, it's just pathetic. I'm like one of them old people that get up at 6 and go to bed at 9:30. But it's just so much easier. But it's, so it does change. You think, I won't change me. And it doesn't change you having a kid straight away, but it slowly wears you down. Until you are, and I love it, this is not me being negative about it, but like, straight away it doesn't really change your lifestyle, but eventually you just get to the point like, I'll just get up early. Just trying to fight,
I just feel like, sorry.
Oh, go on, you go.
I feel like when you're going to have kids, you need to have so much energy. Like, I'm going to be like slumming the vitamins down my neck.
It's great. They give you, but the thing is though, it's like they proper give you a buzz when they're enjoying something, or when you do something really like cute, or like you're all cuddled up watching a film, or then they're so excited to see them. Like we took them Disney and them going on the rides. It's like
Disney's like the dream. Isn't it?
I love it. So like as much as you're a bit tired in that, but like those little moments you get, like it's well worth it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to say like the thought of doing the school run every day. One early morning a week for me, and I'm done for the week.
Exactly.
I'm like, how am I going to do that consistently?
I still struggle. I'm not a morning, but I still struggle. So like, even now, so Lou takes the hit really in the morning. She's the one up at like 6, and then I'll drag myself up at about 7ish to like leave the house and take them. But
I feel like that's always the role, isn't it? And like I feel like the women, like in the middle of the night, when the babies cry, I feel like the women always get up.
Well, if they're breastfeeding, then that's the case, and obviously there's not much you can do. But Lou breastfed for a bit, but found it difficult, so they were on a bottle. So I did a lot of them because I could with a bottle. But then if the baby's been breastfed loads, even if you go with a bottle, they're like, no, I don't want that.
I want real thing.
Exactly. So it's a bit of a balance. But so like, I do, we do split it evenly. But Lou's better in it because I'll get up in the morning. But it takes me so long to wake up. I'm just like, I walk around like that. Some people just can't get up in it. I don't think that's a gender thing. Some people just cannot. Lou is a morning, but like at night, like Lou cannot deal with jet lag. Lou is the worst. I'm all right with jet lag. I can deal with that. I'm all right being tired. But like, I remember we had an argument once coming back from holiday. We've been to Dubai, and it's not even that bad jet lag. It's like it's nothing, isn't it? It's really nothing, right?
Yeah.
And we came back, and I was like, "You are not good on jet lag, Lou. This is not even proper jet lag. It's like same as Spain, isn't it? It's like it's hardly anything." And then she went, "I do not get jet lag. What are you talking about?" And then we went to the passport thing. The passport bloke went, "Where have you come back from?" She went, I don't know. She's so tired she forgot where she'd been.
That jet lag is the worst though, because we was flying back and forward from LA.
That is bad jet lag.
We had to get there and film the next day. You can imagine like our whole night routine was like tossed upside down. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they were waiting at the airport for us.
And you filmed immediately?
Literally.
And they had a camera there and
But that's what they want. They want to see you tested, don't they?
Yeah, they want to test
and in the morning I was waking up, I was like, I don't want to film today. It's so hard.
That's what I always thought though, like reality TV, because really they want you sort of like in a high emotional state because that's where the best drama happens. So, but you must like feel conflicted. You're like, well, I'm gonna feel a bit aggy today because I've not slept and I don't want to go in and sort of mug myself off, but half of that makes good telling.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a bit of how do you balance it?
Well, I was thinking this earlier when you said that you've got to separate yourself from your job because like in our heads we're thinking, right, I want to act prim and proper in front of the camera, but at the same time if we're like tired and moody that day, we know if we just show that it's going to do better for TV and it just comes across so much more real.
Yeah, it does.
So like you just have to embarrass yourself sometimes and act like a brat and then just take the
hit. Sometimes you can't help it though, can you? Because like I'm not an actress, so sometimes in front of the cameras I just can't help being like who I am. On our show I accidentally cried about being in economy. Oh my god, I was getting trolled. People were like, oh my god, she's such a brat, she's so spoiled. But I was having a really hard week. So it was just like the icing on the cake.
She was crying about, when you're crying about something else, but the tears just
it's not about that, it's something else.
About that, and she just got so trolled.
I know, I was just getting trolled off, for God's sake. Yeah.
Next time you get on the comedy flat, people are going to be dirty looking at you.
It's funny, I have to see it. Is it on Netflix then?
Yeah.
It was on something else before, wasn't it? Was it OnlyFans or something?
They bought it, yeah.
Right,
yes, they bought it because they've got their own like streaming platform. So then they produce their own show. Yeah,
because there's that one side of OnlyFans and they're trying to do other content.
Yeah, they're trying to kind of do their own Netflix sort of vibe, and then they sold it to Netflix.
Yeah, they're trying.
It's great though for you guys.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it is brilliant. But yeah, they bought. They took us all like from Towie and stuff, didn't they? And they bought us, and they wanted to like do their first own like reality show, and we was like the guinea pig sort of thing. Yeah. But it's good though because they want to like change their stigma, and they thought by like bringing us on that would happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, because they're trying to diversify.
Yeah, especially in England. Like as soon as you mention the word OnlyFans, people are like,
people think you're on Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm with my brother. I'm on OnlyFans with my brothers and sisters.
Literally, it sounds wrong. But we did like a little quick fire. We asked fans questions that they'd want to ask you. These are really random, by the way.
Okay.
So the first one was: Would you rather never being able to go out during the day or not being able to go out during the night?
See, because of my job, I need to go out at night.
Yeah.
So this is difficult. But I'd probably, if job aside where I work, but I'd rather just be in at night and be out all the day. It'd be not having this. I need that sun on my face.
Yeah, because night time's quite like lonely. Like there's not as many people out unless you're going to a club.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm not going to a club anymore. I can't be bothered.
And do you think money can buy happiness?
Can money buy happiness? No, it can't buy happiness, but it can make it a lot easier to get happiness, if that makes sense. Where if it's impossible to find happiness if you're really desperately worried about paying the heat and electric or your mortgage and stuff. So if you've got enough money to cover all that and keep that sorted, and your house is paid for, and you're not having to work for that money, then I think it's a lot easier to achieve.
Yeah.
However, I know a lot of people with a lot of money that are a lot unhappier than people I know with not as much money. So I think it's half and half, where you need, if you to cover the basics like your mortgage and stuff, it can really help. But I've seen people actually, and in some cases, the more they get, the unhappier they get.
Yeah.
Which is madness.
Yeah.
Money can cause so much stress, but then it can also de-stress you within the matter of seconds.
Of course. Well, if you haven't got any money for your electric bill and there's people banging on your door and you get given the money to pay that bill, you could be happier.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But once all of that is covered, then it's sort of. But yeah, you do. Money doesn't make you happy, like kind of thing. But I don't think you can be happy with no money at all, because you're just constantly getting evicted.
So this is random. Pineapple on pizza?
No, not for me. No,
No,
the pineapple on its own, pineapple on a plate all day long. But not for me.
Oh, I love a bit of pineapple on pizza.
I'm not angry about it though.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, I'm not one of those sort of pineapple police.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't eat it. But if you want to, go for it.
And what about Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Coke, really?
Yeah.
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, no, but then I think you sort of know it's better though, because no one ever goes, when you go somewhere and it's Pepsi not Coke, they go, it's Pepsi okay.
Yeah.
No one ever goes, can I have a
Coke
Pepsi?
okay.
And they go, it's Coke okay.
Yeah, very
That's so true.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a, whenever we go to Italy, it's always just Pepsi.
Is it all Pepsi?
Yeah.
It's weird, certain places like KFC's always Pepsi.
Yeah,
And Wetherspoons,
really,
certain centre parts,
like
just
pubs.
Pepsi.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Certain pubs, isn't it?
Yeah. So just to finish.
In Centre Parks, you can't even buy Coke in the shop.
No,
Really?
way.
It's all Pepsi. They've just got absolutely cornered the market on Centre Parks, yeah. Oh, Lou was dying for a Coke Zero by the end, yeah.
Pepsi is taking over though, isn't it?
Do you know what? When we were in the shop just now, I said
Yeah.
to Demi, what drink should we grab, Rob? And she said Pepsi.
Really? Not Wild Hydrate?
Yeah.
Do you have to plug them?
Just to wrap things up, when is your next tour date? Can you disclose that or?
Yeah. No, so the tour starts in November, and I'm doing a few more little ones here and there that sort of get announced, but they're like tiny little rooms. But yeah, from November the tour Giraffe starts, and it's running through to 2026. But yeah, you'll have to come down with the family, bring your dad and that. Yeah. No dogs. Yeah. But I'm doing Southend as well. I don't know, it's pretty close. You still on Brentwood? Yeah, so I'm doing London Palladium, but also Southend. But so just let us know.
Yeah, we'll
Come
definitely.
down.
Dad will be like Martha in Baby Reindeer.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Screaming.
Yeah, you don't want a sort of a boxing coach being your stalker, do you? Really? That's a level up of intimidating.
It'll be like he'll be at the back just laughing so loud.
I'll see him at the back crying and offer him a cup of tea.
We always ask people this as well. What would you be doing if you wasn't doing what you're doing?
So my dad and brothers are black cab drivers. So
are they?
and one works at a flower market. So I worked at a flower market. So I imagine I would have carried on at the market, done a bit of taxi driving, and then I would have set up my own business of something. I don't know when I first started doing comedy. That was when I was only 23. That's when you sort of got your ideas. That was when street food markets were just starting, and that was a big thing. And everyone had a burger, and then so I reckon I would have found something to cook on that, and then got into a restaurant or something like that.
Yeah.
But something self-employed, I'm not very good with a boss.
No, I'm not either.
No, we could never do.
No. They barely do economy. Never mind. They've been told what to do.
Oh, thank you so much for
No, thanks, it's been a pleasure.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and
great.
also I just want to mention as well before we finish your new show on Sky HD.
Oh yeah.
So when did that launch this year?
Smart TV.
Smart TV.
So yeah, that was
Sky Max HD.
yeah, about a couple of months ago. So there's been like 8 episodes. So yeah, me, Josh Widdicombe, Alison Hammond.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gone really well. It's all on demand and stuff like that. It's all
Yeah,
just about TV and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. And we'll have to give it a watch, won't we?
Congratulations on that.
Cheers, thank you. Yeah, it's very kind of you.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, that's been great. No, it's been great.
right,
It's been well
I know,
fast.
we actually have.
Yeah,
You've made me laugh so much.
Oh, good. Oh,
I know that is your job.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, I know. That was great. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And thank you so much, guys, for watching. We'll be back here next week with a new guest.
Where's my bar?